SatNam, greetings. I am Cholena of SatMom. This is a sensual self-healing process that we're going to be talking about and getting into today. So the reason that we're here doing this is that, well, there's so many reasons. So our sensuality and the innocence connected with our sensuality and sexuality was forcibly, in so many ways, moved away from us. So the term pleasure has been really convoluted in our world now. And its inherent innocence and connection to our divinity has been like eroded and layered over with piles of gunk. And we all know that, how intense it is with the misclaiming of our sexuality. It's either women are encouraged to be overtly sexual or purely innocent. And nowhere in our world right now is there really a format where women's sensuality is given the space to understand the depth of this energy. So our sensual and sexual energy is our life force itself, also equated with the Kundalini energy that is feminine, lies dormant at the base of the spine. And in the awakening of this energy, then it brings all of this awareness into our presence. So as we awaken our Kundalini energy and our sensuality, there's kind of no unawakening, no unlearning who you are in that process. And in that sense, that's why it was deemed as so dangerous and equated to so made out to be a dark and demonic part of our being. And that's anything but the truth. However, the incredible contrast we see in sexual practices in the world, we can see like all aspects of it. And in this time, we can come back in and reclaim our own access to our own and the inherent innocence and divinity in our sensuality and sexual practices. And this, you can be absolutely celibate and abstinent for this practice. You don't have to be sexually or sensually engaged with anyone else or even yourself. So this is moving your sensual energy inside. So we are going to be doing an inner exploration and seeing how we sound, feel, look, the texture of all the places inside. There may be clicking and grinding. There may be free, expansive places. There may be parts of us that feel like really pulled in and repressed. And we're here to kind of notice and explore and start to play with that. So this is actually an inner play of the inner masculine and feminine. And our pleasure, there's pain in pleasure and pleasure in pain. They are simply two sides of the same coin. So when, it's both are present and inherent all the time. So we possess the power to choose which side of the coin we're currently playing with. And this has been a huge exploration in my life. And this kind of practice has emerged feels like from my being, because the play of pleasure and pain has been really forefront in my life with fibromyalgia and disability and chronic hip pain, and really not knowing so much of my life where it came from. And fighting it and fighting it and fighting it using all of the most miraculous tools that the world has to offer, but still fighting it. And it is not until I learned to access all of myself through the play and the pleasure that I can stop fighting it and allow pleasure to come up and meet me where pain only resided previously. And this is primarily a woman's magic. It's a magic of the feminine. That does not mean men don't have it. It means that we are kind of the chalice holders for this. And in activating our own, it activates our men of the world as well. And that's another thing that's, been very scary for kind of the rulers of the current world, is how it is not possible, except with an iron fist and force, to rule people's sexual and sensual connection. And through this, we have direct access to our sacred yes and our sacred no, for it lives in our sacral region. And when a people is connected with their sacred yes and their sacred no, there's no moving them, there's no manipulating them, and there's no leading them to believe something entirely different that does not resonate in their body. So it's super important that we learn to reclaim this sensuality, this sensitivity to our sensuality. And like different Taoist and tantric teachers, there's like muscles for everything. And when you tap into different levels of your sensuality, you're literally like tapping into the muscles throughout your whole body that perceive the different things. Like different types of things will be stored in the hips as opposed to the shoulders or the hands. So just notice what might come up, what might be speaking to you from where. And playing with with the potentiality of the experience, that where there's pain, pleasure can also be accessed there. It's not a desire to go into pain to meet pleasure or some manipulated thing. It's just that there is a potential, and we can flip that. I feel in Women's Circle, we've been accessing, it's really beautiful the way that women have been called back to circle in the last few decades, especially, and how we're connecting more deeply, and we're able to dive back into ritual, back into the earth, back into being present with our bodies and with each other. And this kind of seems to toe the line right now on, can we feel comfortable with it? And how much of our sensuality can we bring to the table, with it being appropriate for each space? And what does that actually mean for us? And this appropriateness of sensuality. It's very much on the topic of my heart, because my daughter is 6. And this is the time in my life when my abuse was starting to get ramped up. And so there's the sensitivity to that, but also the desire to grow our new, young women in ways that are not disconnected. And they can allow their sensuality to emerge in a safe way. And in that way, it can be such a blessing to themselves and the earth as well. And we can provide the safe container for that in some way. We don't yet know how this works out, because, we're at this age and we've got our teachings. But the more that we start to connect with our inherent innocence in pleasure, the more this play will emerge and evolve in our world. So